Hi everyone, it's me again. Remember who I am? I'm the one who uploads videos every 3 hours around the clock. And seriously, if I could have a live feed, I think I would be doing that. I want to answer a few more questions tonight, just a few. I had you guys ask me questions, and I keep forgetting to mention that I will be answering them. I'm just going to do a few at a time. And then when we run out, I will put out another request for more questions. And I'd like to answer some questions at least once a week. I asked you guys to ask me some questions back on May 13, and I answered a few. And I'm going to try to be more brief with my answers this time. Last time I talked about so much stuff that I had a headache. It was like a major therapy session. So hopefully my little system of making the little thumbs up blue works. It's letting me know that I did indeed read and or answer your question. If it's something I've answered a lot of times, I'll just skip it. But let's start with a new one that came in after the last time I answered, from Diana. I like Diana. Hi, Diana. She asked me if I know how to crochet with the plastic bags, which is the grocery bags that you can cut and use as, they call it plarn, plastic yarn. And yes, I do, and I have, and I will do a video on it. So I liked that. So thank you, Diana, for that idea. That was a nice, short, and complete answer. Okay, this is hard to answer in just a few words, but I will try my best. This person asks, what should I do if I want a YouTube channel? I need some advice. I think the best piece of advice I can give you is, if there was not any way to even make money on YouTube, would you still do it? If you can answer yes to that, then go ahead and start a channel. If you're looking at it as a way to make money, that's not going to happen unless your heart and soul is into your channel. So best advice is just start a channel. Put up a video. Don't worry about all the other things at first. It will work itself out. You will learn as you go. I do have some YouTube tips. I will be posting more YouTube tips. And also just look on YouTube. There are tips everywhere. How to start YouTube and all kinds of things. But the number one thing is, ask yourself, am I really wanting to do this? Is it something that I'm going to want to do continuously? Do I have the time to do it? You know, it doesn't have to be 3 videos a day like I sometimes do. But you really, if you are trying to build a channel, I think the minimum you should post is at least once a week. So, and that's not just me saying that. Others say that too. So, but best advice I can give you is ask yourself if it's what you really want to do. And if it is, you better do it. I'll be mad if you don't. When is my birthday? And also, what is my favorite animal? My birthday is August 31st, 1960. Favorite animal is hard. I've always been a dog person, do love cats. But other than domestic animals, hands down, a horse. I just think it is the most beautiful animal in the world, with the nice beautiful mane and tail, and they're muscular and they run and they're just so pretty and they got nice big teeth. I don't know. I love horses. Love them. Oh my goodness. Who's my favorite actor? Which country will you like to visit and why? Have a nice weekend. Thanks. Favorite actor. That's a hard one. That really is. I have to think about that for a second. We'll go to the which country would I like to visit and why. I am not thrilled with traveling because I just like to be home. But if I did have to pick a country, it just has to be someplace with history. I don't care if it's just, the ruins in some old ancient city or if it's the pyramids, something. I like to see something old. So any place with that is good. I even feel lucky that in the United States that I'm in New England because we're the oldest part of the United States. So that's pretty cool. Nice old houses and just love that. Favorite actor? That's just, oh my goodness, I just don't know. I'll still think about it. Absolute favorite craft. I love almost all crafts. But if I really had to pick one, that would be the only one that I'd be able to do. I guess it would have to be sewing, because it's not only fun, but it's functional. You make things that are useful. Somebody already answered this one. Why don't you and your husband live together, and why are you still married? And somebody replied, she actually did an entire video on that. I can't remember what it was called, though. I can't remember what it was called either, but I do remember talking about that. Pretty sure it had Andy in the title, because her husband's name is Andy. I don't know. Did I? I don't remember if I put his name. Oh, about the video where how I met my husband. Was it that one, though, that I talked about? I have talked about. We met a long time ago, and I think that video is a pillow vlog, how I met my husband. I will link it below. Got to write that down, or I'll forget. And I read out of my 1978 diary. That was kind of fun. I haven't read any more of that. I have to look at that again and maybe do another pillow vlog, reading more out of there. That was not just about Andy. I'd gone out, done stuff, partied, or whatever. I'm very curious to know what I did. The short answer to that long story is that we met when we were teenagers. We got married much later, like 25 years later. Andy is from Texas. I moved there for a while, 3 years. Then he brought me back to Maine so I could take care of my father, who was sick and dying, and my mother, who is still alive and well. He was here in Maine for 10 years, and he hated it, and he drinks, and he drinks too much, and I didn't like that, so we kind of decided he could go back home. And I just don't get divorced because he's my husband. I have really no reason to get divorced. If I wanted a life with somebody else, I might consider it, but I'm such a loner that it doesn't matter to me if I'm married, and I'm 100 pounds heavier than when I put this ring on, so it doesn't come off anyway, so until I can get the ring off, I'm staying married. I will ask you a few questions, but you pick which one you want to answer. What if I want to answer them all? 17 questions. No, I'm just kidding. It was only 5. I'm very curious. Favorite meal in the whole world? And who makes it? Or restaurant you get it at? I am not big on restaurants at all. Like to eat at home. Food that I make. Favorite meal? Oh my God, you guys. Okay, let's go to the next one. Have I owned any pets, and what kind? Yes, owned pets all my life up until like 3 years ago. Many, many dogs, many cats when I was much younger. Then I kind of developed an allergy to them, or we discovered that I was allergic to them, so we stopped getting those. But Tigger comes in and he doesn't really bother me, although I'm constantly rubbing my eyes, so maybe he does bother me. And various other pets too. Am I scared of snakes or spiders? Snakes, no. Spiders, yes. Absolutely petrified. That, it makes me want to pass out when I see one. I mean, literally, I can see one on my kitchen floor, and it's like, I have to consider moving. I mean, it's just terrible. How bad have you ever messed up your homemade hairdos? I have, messed them up pretty bad back in the days of perming and bleaching, because I used to perm and bleach often and have had very, very short hair. Luckily, it was like in the 80s when, I just had almost like a buzz cut on the sides, and it was like very punk rocker type of, I don't know, what's punk rocker? Was I ever that? It was very 80s. I heard a noise. I've never really cut it so bad that I hated it. But the bleaching and having hair just be brittle and break, that wasn't too fun. Oh my God. The next one is about who will be the next president. I'm skipping that one. She writes, I think they are all dumb. Favorite meal. Oh my goodness. I owe you guys answers to favorite actor and favorite meal. I can't even think of an actor right now. And I almost was going to say, for a meal, I mean, I love meat. I just had, my meal was just meat and mushrooms. Haven't eaten all day. I ate about, 7 o'clock p.m. I went to Rogers and I bought some beef, sliced up beef with some onions and mushrooms, and that's all I had on my plate. I'm a meathead. I love meat. Favorite meal, meat. And favorite actor, to be answered later. Oh my God, my most embarrassing story, please go watch the first Q&A. Well, there was 3 of those. It was the time that I was a college student in my 30s, and I had to walk into the middle of the classroom for oceanography, and I had toilet paper hanging out the back of my pants. I still want to pass out when I think of that. What color will you dye your hair next? I'm thinking black next. I haven't been black in a while. And I do like it dark, and I like it light. I like it any old way. I forgot to be thumbs-upping these guys so that I can remember that I checked and answered. Okay, we'll just do a few more. Oh, favorite TV show. I didn't see that one. Oh my goodness, again. That has changed over the years. You know, I used to like sitcoms once upon a time, and then I got big into reality TV, and now my favorite TV show, well, it would probably be on YouTube. There's a girl, what's her name? Darlene. I like YouTube. I have a lot of channels that I watch religiously. So, other than that, my favorite TV show is probably even just something like CNN. I like something that I can just listen to while I'm working. I like History Channel, things like that too, Discovery. Let's see, what else? Do you like it when I sing? Knowing your feelings towards mail. Oh, do I want to read this? I was wondering if you also feel that way about receiving gifts. Yes! I feel awful when I receive gifts. I always feel so awkward. Me too! As a matter of fact, I remember one time I had a birthday party, and I insisted nobody gave gifts, and I bought everybody a gift instead. That was like the best birthday party ever. But I think I made other people feel uncomfortable, so that was stupid. But... Video idea. For your next bang hair cutting video, I've always wondered what it would look... I have to click on read more. The suspense is killing me. What it would look like if someone were to cut their hair with those scrap booking border scissors. Okay, let me read that again. With those scrapbooking, like scrap border scissors. He means the scissors that are all decorative. Well, somebody else already suggested pinking shears, which is close. That's a zigzag for cutting fabric so it doesn't fray. And I'm totally going to do the pinking shears. And I have some of the decorative scissors with the unusual... We'll try them all. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, she wrote, you are my dream grandma. You can call me Meme. Any of you want to call me Meme, you can. It's M-E-M-E-R-E. And that's French for grandmother. I'm supposed to be thumbs-upping these things. You guys are getting me confused. My favorite dinner to make and what's my nationality? We are French-Canadian descent. My mother's parents were from Quebec. My father's parents were born here in Maine, I believe, but his grandparents on all sides were from Quebec. My favorite dinner? Meat. Did I mention I like meat? Oh, when I was little, what did I want to be when I grew up? A bartender. No, I'm just kidding. Couldn't wait to get my hands on all that booze. I don't know. Did I have any dreams? I remember thinking that I would never be anything because I couldn't imagine being anything. I just couldn't. My childhood kind of sucked. And I didn't go past what was going on in my life. So, no dreams. I always knew that I never wanted to get married, and I shouldn't have bothered. I mean, it was just silly. I kind of did it to please my mother. I never was interested in getting married. I did not feel the need to. Never wanted to change my name, which I didn't. And even though I wasn't married when I had my son, I would have given my son my name even if I was married. If the man didn't like it, well, I would have been like, you push this baby out. Because I don't understand why the man gets the name when the woman has the baby. That makes no sense to me. Never has, never will. So my son was going to have my name no matter what. What is your favorite movie or book? Ooh, one of my favorite movies, really, and I haven't seen it in a while, is To Kill a Mockingbird. I just liked that movie. I also love Splendor in the Grass. Makes me cry. And book. Gee, I haven't read a book in a while. I used to read a lot. I used to even love Stephen King. I wouldn't be into that now. I was then, not now. I don't know. Not sure about the book. How did Sandy and I become friends? Excellent question. She lived when we were up until I think she was 7-ish. You know, I live here. She lived right there. If I were to be looking through my window right there, I could see where she grew up. And then they moved from right there to right there, just behind my grandmother's house across the street. So that's how we became friends. We were friends from very, very little. I'm a year older than her, so I'm thinking like 2 and 3 years old. We were, together, and we used to. When we could ride tricycles, we did that. We did a lot of stuff. We were together a lot up until maybe, I don't know, like maybe 10-ish. And then we went our separate ways, and it was like neither one of us existed. And then much later in life, we both ended up back in our family homes and we're friends again. So very, very cool. And it's so cool to have a friend that you've known since childhood like that, because we have the same memories, and it's just, we know each other's families and relatives, and very, very awesome. I love you, Sandy. My question for you is this: would you ever consider collabing with anyone? If so, who would you pick? Okay, that she means like if I could do a video with another person. Sandy and I, I'm sure, will be doing collabs, but the person who inspired me the most was Bunny Meyer, Graveyard Girl. And and another one who inspired me was Michelle from Michelle's Frugal Living. Those were the two that I started watching early on, but Bunny was the one that made me realize I can act like a complete freak if I want, and it's okay, because that's how she acts. And I was like, that's how I would act if I was on a video. That's allowed. So it's like she gave me permission to just be myself and not care. And then Michelle from Michelle's Frugal Living gave me permission to just sit in a car and chat with people. And it was like, what I loved about her is it was calm and casual, and I was like, oh, it's okay to do both. I can be the nutcase that I am half the time, and geez, if I want to just sit and talk quietly to somebody, I can do that too. They're like opposite ends. If you ever watch Graveyard Girl, and it's Grave, Grav 3 instead of E, Yard Girl, and Michelle's Frugal Living with no G at the end. They're night and day, and I'm both of those. I can be this one, I can be that one. Love both of them, and so that would be awesome to collab with either of them, and of course my Sandy. All right, I'm going to do one more because my battery is dying. Why do I keep forgetting to thumbs up? This person's asking me, where do I live? I live in Sanford, Maine, and she said, is there a lot of history attached to it? Well, I think there's history attached to Maine just for the fact that we're part of New England, and Sanford was the largest town in Maine, and now we're a city, so I don't know. I think, are we like third or fourth largest city? I can't remember, but there's history all around. I love history. One more. How old were you when you started suffering with anxiety and depression? I think very, very, very young. But I was also drinking very, very, very young. So I wouldn't have been able to deal with it even if I wasn't drinking, because I think I was too young to even understand. But anxiety was very bad for me as a child, with full-blown panic attacks where I really thought I was dying, and I would constantly be going to the hospital because my parents thought I was dying too. But I don't have panic attacks like that anymore. I suffer from anxiety, but I don't have those panic attacks where I just pass out because of whatever the panic attack makes my heart race, and I don't have that as much, so that's good. Okay, we'll end on this one. You once mentioned your mother is narcissistic. How did you find that out, and do you feel controlled? Don't worry, I had narcissistic parents who made me look after them from age 8 to 16. Eventually, I escaped. This is a good one to end on because I am going to be starting talking about narcissism, and I'm not going to just give my opinion. I'm going to maybe read some informational stuff and then explain to you guys how that relates to me, and then ask you guys to share your stories if you have a narcissistic parent and how it related to you. So it's just going to open up the communication. We can start talking about it. The more we talk, the more we know, the less we suffer. At least that's how it's working for me, so I'm hoping it can work that way for you too. But I found out, believe it or not, I'm going to say maybe 4 years ago. I mean, if I thought hard about it, but my battery's down to 7 minutes, I would be able to pinpoint a time. But we had someone who had married into the family who I thought was like, okay, this person, I've never met anybody like that in my life. And I was consumed by that person at first. And then I was completely heartbroken and crushed by that person. And then there's something is very, very off. So I started looking up all kinds of things to see if I could find out why that person was acting that way. And while doing that, I ran into narcissism, and when I read about it, I was like, oh my God, that is my mother. And the moment I read those things and realized that I really had been being mentally abused my entire life, I got so mad. I went into a period of deep, dark anger. I was so mad. So I will talk about that more. I'm coming out of the angry stage, and I think that that is why I am interested now in talking about this. I don't think I could have talked about it before now, because I was just still so mad that there wouldn't be anything, you know, productive or constructive that I could say. I just would have been filled with anger. And I watched someone who talks about narcissism, and it's quite obvious, it's a man, and it's quite obvious he's still mad, because all he does is, oh my God, it's like, I don't want to laugh. Everybody handles things their own way, but I think there are stages you go through when you discover you have a narcissistic parent and things start to make sense. So I'm very interested in talking more about that. Okay, that is it for tonight. I am going to continue and do another Q&A whenever I have time, or I feel like it, or if I feel like doing 20 videos in one day, maybe I'll include one on that day. Okay, I'm hyper, I'm manic, that's just the way I am. I get like that. So I'm going to just say goodbye. Thank you for watching. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for letting me answer them. Thank you for understanding. Just thank you for all of it. Bye.